Okay, so for this next video, we're going to get into rhythm and timing. Now, rhythm and timing for a lot of people are like this whole other universe, and in many ways they're right to think so. I was fortunate enough to have started on the drums, and so rhythm kind of comes pretty instinctually for me, but it's harder to come by for a lot of people. Thankfully for me, it can be hard to learn, but it's easy to teach. Now, for the purposes of this lesson, I'm going to bring out my trusty pair of bongos. For those of you who are at home, you can just tap along on your lap. That's usually what I'll do. Or tap along on a table, whatever you feel like you want to use. We're going to use our hands like drumsticks. Now, don't think that this is unimportant, because I tell you right now, the fact is that you cannot jam without rhythm and timing. It's a fact. I would even go so far as to say that rhythm and timing are just as, if not more important than the actual music itself. I'll leave the commenters to debate that, but in any case, the fact is that you cannot jam without rhythm and timing. I know many guitarists and many keyboardists from, several bands who sound great when they've got a drummer or a metronome beside them, but have them by themselves and they always fall apart like a model airplane with no glue, or like a magazine in a toilet. The fact is that rhythm is the glue. Rhythm is the glue. I don't care if you can shred guitar licks like Sebastian Bach or Mozart himself. The fact is that you cannot jam without rhythm and timing. Without rhythm and timing, there's no structure. It's like you're in a sea of muck. There's nothing to hold on to. Rhythm and timing are like a tether. They're like the rope that all the musicians are connected to, so that it keeps them all in the same musical thread. Rhythm is the glue. Rhythm is the glue. So that's why you'll often hear me say, and I'll probably say it a lot throughout these videos, that I've always got my left foot pumping away on every beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like an anchor. It's like the thing that holds the pulse of the music together. Just trust me, many guitarists do this, and 9 times out of 10 when I'm playing guitar, you'll always see this left foot pumping away like stomping Tom Connors. So what we're going to do is, what I like to do for my students is I'll show them a few simple little hand exercises that they can play on their lap, when they're at home, when they're at school, when they're on the bus. That's why we're doing these simple little exercises. You'd be surprised how fruitful they can be. So we'll start off with some easy ones, and we'll mix it up a little bit as we go on, so you can get a sense for the scope of the tiny universe that is held within rhythm and timing. Now, first things first, we're going to learn what are called time signatures, okay? So now this is a time signature. It's called 4/4 time, or common time. The time signature is what you'll always find in musical notation right beside the treble clef. This is our treble clef. This is our time signature. As you can see, this is 4/4 time, okay? Now, 4/4 time is also known as common time, because it's basically the most common time signature that you'll find. Another very common time signature as well, almost just as common, is known as 3/4 time, okay? Now, this first number, the 3 in this case, is what represents, it's the only number that's important to us as campfire jammers in here. The first number indicates how many beats there are per bar, okay? Now that's very important. The second number doesn't change usually as much, but the first number indicates how many beats there are per bar. Now a bar, or also it's sometimes called a measure, has either 3 or 4 beats, okay? So in this case, let's go to our 4/4 time signature, okay? So 4/4 time counts 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like the usual beat. And you'll find that in everything. There's a country beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So that's 4/4 time, right? It's also used very commonly in blues progressions. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Right? So that's 4/4 time, and there's 4 beats per bar. Okay? I'd like to stress the fact that since this is 4/4 time, we're counting 4 beats. At the end of the 4th beat, as soon as you go to the next beat 1, that's the next bar. That's how the bars progress, okay? So, for example, I'm gonna show you 3 bars, okay? And then that's it, just 3 bars. We're gonna count to the number 4 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that was 3 bars in 4/4 time. 4/4 time meaning there were 4 beats per bar. Okay? Now, in 3/4 time, which is this one right here, 3/4 time, that means that we are going to be playing with 3 beats per bar. Okay? So that's like a waltz. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? That's a very common chord progression for many songs. Okay, see if you can get this beat, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Sing us a song, your piano man. Sing us a song tonight. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? Here's another example. This is 3/4 time. This is an Eagles tune. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. All alone at the end of the evening. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Right? So you can see that's 3/4 time. There's 3 beats per bar. Another example I always like to use is this Seal song from Batman. You guys know what song I'm talking about. I don't really know the whole thing. It's also used a lot in rock and roll songs. This is Jimi Hendrix. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Manic depression has captured my soul. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? And it's even used in a lot of softer songs. This is the Beatles once again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here I stand, head in hand, turn my face to the wall. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? So that's 3/4 time. So this next song by the Beatles, the ever-brilliant Beatles, still trumps many of today's best songwriters because they did something very peculiar that a lot of people can't pull off. They went from 1 time signature, which is 4/4 time, 4 beats per bar, to 3/4 time, to the next time signature, which has 3 beats per bar. Okay? So try to tap along with me. You'll be able to tell the difference between the 2 beats, okay? Try to tap along with your right hand or any hand as I call them out when they come up, okay? So the song starts for the refrain part, it's going to start off in 4/4 time, okay? And then you'll notice when it goes to the waltz part. Life is very short and there's no time for fussing and... Now this is the change to the waltz. Fighting, my friend. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I have always thought 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now I will 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Think of what I'm saying. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, did you see those time changes? Okay. You'll be able to notice if you can feel free to rewind back and try to tap your hand along as I call out the beat. Okay. Now you should notice that there's a change from the 4/4 to the 3/4 on the fussing and fighting, my friend. That part. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then it goes back into 4/4. I have always thought 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And then it also goes from the 3/4 to the 4/4 on the next part. Think of what you're saying. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So rewind back and try to tap your hand to those beats, okay? Now, a musical bar of distance can be split up into 1,000,000 pieces, just like a centimeter or an inch can, depending on what you divide it by. Okay? Now, let's go back to our hands for a moment. Alright? The main thing I want you to hold on to is the beat, the pulse, okay? For now, tap along with me. We're going to go with our right hand. We're in 4/4 time, so that's 4 beats per bar, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now these are quarter notes, okay? Even if you're in 3/4 or you're in 4/4 time, these are called quarter notes, okay? Because there are 4 quarter notes per bar. Alright, so now this is what our quarter note looks like. It's upside down, which is beautiful. Okay? This is what our quarter note looks like. And there are 4 quarter notes per bar in 4/4 time. Okay? That's the quarter note. That's what it looks like. And there are 4 of these per bar in 4/4 time. Just like there are 4 quarters in a dollar. Okay? Now, for this next diagram, I'm going to show you guys my patented loonie diagram. It's very simple. It's not hard to explain at all. Basically what we've got here is each of these quarters is like a quarter note, and each of these loonies, or this is a dollar, by the way, this is our Canadian dollar. Each dollar represents a new bar, okay? So, and like I said, each quarter note represents, each quarter represents a quarter note. And we're going to be going by beats or quarter notes. There are 4 quarter notes. This is 4/4 time. There are 4 quarters or quarter notes to every dollar or every bar. Okay? Now, watch as we go along. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So you'll notice that we ended on bar 5, okay? That is, we ended on the first quarter note, or the first beat of bar 5. Now, if we kept going, we could have actually made $5, if only it was really that easy to make money off of music. Oh, terrible joke, I know. Terrible joke. But anyway. Now, let's translate this into real musical notation, alright? So now what we've got here, everybody should recognize this. This is our treble clef. This is what you're going to see at the start of pretty much every piece of real musical notation. This is our time signature, which is 4/4 time, which means that there are 4 beats per bar. Okay? Now, watch as I count along. We're going to count by quarter notes. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you notice that we ended on the 4th bar of the 4th beat of the 4th bar. Okay? You can see that that's where we ended, right? This is the essence of rhythm itself. This is the structure of music itself. This is the glue that holds everything together. Now, the next diagram I'm going to show has been known to frighten some people, but don't start throwing stuff at your TV screen just yet. We're going to see a G major scale played in quarter notes, just like these, in real musical notation, the way it would be written in musical notation, okay? Now get ready to shield your eyes. Oh, God, it's so horrible and foreign and confusing. Don't worry, fellow jammers. I can assure you this is the only little bit of musical notation we're going to see in these videos, okay? I'm just showing this to show you the combination of the beats with actual musical tones in music. This is what it looks like in real music, okay? Now, this is what this is going to sound like, okay? It's, in case anybody's interested, this is half of the G major scale played twice over 4 bars. Okay, that's what this is, alright? Now we're going to start here, and we're going to do our do, re, mi, right? Do, re, mi, fa, sol. That's that note. So, fa, mi, re, do. And now we're here, okay? Now I'm just going to play the whole thing. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, re, mi, re, do, re, mi, fa, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do. So we ended on the first beat of this invisible bar 5. All right. Now, this is what we just did. Do, re, or sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. We ended on bar 5, the first beat, both times, okay? Now, we always want to keep our finger on that pulse, okay? It's as important in life as it is in music, or it's as important in music as it is in life, okay? The most important thing is not to lose that pulse, okay? Always try to find that pulse. Whenever you're listening to the radio, try to tap your hand, try to tap your hand, find the rhythm, find the beat, okay? You're a musician now, you got to start thinking like one, okay? Whenever you're driving in your car and you're listening to the radio, tap your hand on the steering wheel. Try to look for that beat, try to look for the rhythm. There's always going to be a pulse, unless you're listening to jazz music, which means you're pretty much at sea without a paddle. Now, one thing I should mention about rhythm that's important, and especially in regards to timing, is that counting is kind of like plastic. It fits itself into whatever groove you want it to. Okay, this is what I mean. This is in regards to counting. Okay, I'm going to play a blues groove 2 times. Okay. And both times it's going to be the same rhythm, the same notes, the same groove. I'm only counting them in a different way, okay? Because you can count it however you want, right? So you can count it slow like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? You can count it like that, or you can count it faster. I'm going to play the same beat, the same groove, the same notes, the same music, only I'm going to count it faster. I'm going to count it twice as fast, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It's the same groove. I just did the same rhythm, the same beat, the same notes. I just counted it in a different way, because you can count it however you want, really. We remember from grade school, we'll remember that 2/4 is the same thing as 1/2. They both take up the same amount of musical distance. They both take up the same amount of pi, so to speak. So if you find yourself trying to count something like, this is Cecilia by Simon and Garfunkel, okay? Oh, Cecilia, you're breaking my heart. You're shaking my confidence daily. Oh, Cecilia. All right, if you're trying to count that and you're listening to it on the radio and you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a little too fast, That's a little too fast to be counting something like that. I'm going to play it again. It's the same music, the same notes, the same rhythm, except I'm going to count it slower, so it's a little bit more manageable. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if you guys can see, but that is the rhythm that I'm pounding my left foot to. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So we just played the same song, we played the same rhythm, we just counted it in 2 different ways, because you can count it however you want, as long as you find a comfortable pulse. There will always be a comfortable pulse, unless you're playing uncomfortable music like disco or death metal, but in any case, play around with it, bend into it, have fun with it, and I'm sure you guys will be counting even the funkiest time signatures in no time. So now that we've got that mouthful out of the way, we're actually going to start doing some actual tapping exercises, okay? So, we'll start, get my trusty bongos. Now we'll start simple, okay? This is going to be exercise 1. And what we're doing is we're going in quarter notes, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're tapping with your right hand on quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to keep that as a smooth, steady, easy rhythm, a rock steady rhythm. Don't speed up or slow down. That's the most important thing we're trying to learn right now, okay? If you speed up, if you find yourself speeding up or slowing down, you have to work on what's called your timing, okay? And this is very important, you know. What would happen if all the musicians in a room suddenly decided to forget about keeping that very important rock steady pace, you know? Well, you know, they would start going faster and faster and faster until eventually the whole song would go by in the blink of an eye. This happens more often than you would think in a lot of jam sessions, okay? So that's why, no matter what, we always keep that rhythm going nice, steady, smooth, no speeding up and no slowing down, okay? Now when we tap, we're going to tap from the wrist, okay? Don't swing your arm like this. That's just wasting. That's not what you want to do. You want to anchor your wrist on whatever surface that you're tapping on, but whether it's your thigh or whether it's a drum or whether it's, you know, like a table or whatever it is that you're using, okay? So we're going to keep our wrist anchored. You want the motion to come from your fingers. That's where it should feel like the motion is coming from when you're drumming, okay? So this is our exercise 1. Okay, in quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, for exercise 2, we are going to add in our left hand. Okay. We're going to add our left hand on beat 1 of every bar. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Notice it's the same thing, okay? If you want, you can pause this, you know, pause the video and practice this exercise. Because this is one of the easiest ones to get a good rhythm for. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now we're going to go to exercise 3. Alright? So we've still got that rock steady rhythm on our right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Except now this time we're going to be adding the left hand on beat 1 and beat 3 of every bar. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Very simple. So practice that one. Pause the video. Feel free to try it out and, you know, try to get good with those 3 exercises before we move on to exercise number 4. Okay? Now, exercise 4 is going to be simply the same thing as we were doing with exercise 1, except we're doing it with the left hand, okay? So now our left hand is keeping that steady beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No slowing down, no speeding up. It's a little trickier with the left hand, I know, but with a little practice, you should be able to have a steady beat without speeding up or slowing down, and you should have a rock steady timing, okay? Now, our 5th exercise is going to be the same thing. The left hand is going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we are going to add, for exercise 5, we're going to add on beat 1 of every bar the right hand, okay? The right hand is going to hit beat 1 for every bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep that going smooth and steady, right? Try to keep that going as easy as possible, okay? Now for exercise 6, it's very simple. It's the same thing. What we're going to be doing is we're going to alternate our taps, okay? Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Now what we're going to do this time is I'm going to, remember, because it doesn't matter how you count, as long as the rhythm is, you know, whatever you're looking for, okay? And so we're going to count slower now. We're going to count at half speed, right? Because what we want to do is we want to fit 1 tap per hand per beat, per pulse, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and practice this. Try it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. It helps a lot, actually, if you count out loud with your voice, okay? Try to sing along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get those hands moving. Get those wrists going. Keep keep the wrists anchored. Try to keep your rhythm going smooth and as steady as possible, okay? Now we want to keep it steady, keep it tight, and keep it smooth. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And so practice whenever you can, you know? Practice whenever you can, and inevitably you'll come out of this with a rock-steady beat and an excellent sense for musical rhythm, despite your probably blistering thighs. You'll be fine. Practice, and that's what music is all about, and having fun with it.